Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live look-in. As you see, we've got a guest here, Drew from In the Loop. This is great. So hang on. We're going to start here in just a second. I'm just letting everybody know on socials where we are. But we are going to talk IAPA tonight. This is going to be great. There we go.
Why are we not going to IAPA every year?
We should. I know. It's a bummer, man.
Honestly, you should go.
It was so fun that one year we did.
I mean, it exceeded expectations, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. I should have gone this year. It's so much fun.
It's so fun. Yeah. I mean, but you need, we'll talk about this in a sec, but I think you need more than one day, too. Like, otherwise you're just overwhelmed, you know? All right. Well, if you guys are ready, people will just join us as we go. Yeah, let's do it. Thanks again for doing this with us. This is great.
Oh, of course. Yep. It's not a very often you wake up in the morning and you get DM'd by Coaster Radio.
I love it. All right, here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with my friend EB, ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
This is an extra dorky episode of Coaster Radio, Mike, because it is IAPA week, and we are joined live right now from the IAPA floor from our friend Drew from In the Loop. This is so much fun.
Drew, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on the show today.
This is great. This is an interesting episode because we normally drop our episodes on Thursday nights. We are recording live on Thursday night so that we could get to the end of IAPA week. So this is going to be a special show. No editing, no like fancy stuff. We're just going to, put this show out pretty much as we record it. But the best part about that is we are going to get the latest of what was happening at IAPA from you who were there on the ground the entire time.
Yeah, it's really fun that you've got an In the Loop guy on here and you're releasing this episode in the Loop style where it's just record and go.
I love
this is going to be a 4.5-hour episode, Mike. In the Loop style all the way.
Right. Someone's already wondering if that was a true, and then they just looked at their podcast feed to see that we just told a lie.
Yeah. No, this is great. So, Drew, thank you so much. Mike and I were just talking about how we need to get to IAPA more often. We did go one year, and we absolutely loved it. But for whatever reason, we keep not going back, and we keep having to go through our stable of people cooler than us who go to IAPA. So welcome back. Yes. You've done reporting for us before from IAPA. We're just so thrilled to have you back. We're not even doing like first drop and news and stuff like that because all of the news is IAPA. And Drew, thank you again, just so much for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me. I think probably the most interesting thing that got announced on the floor, completely out of left field, was the S&S launch coaster going to Mango's, which is a nightclub on International Drive here in Orlando, across the street from where the Polar Coaster got announced 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Also an S&S roller coaster, mind you, but this has got some concept art, and it looked pretty flashy, and the news broke 90% through the first day at IAPA, and no one really saw that coming. So I would say, I don't know if it is coming, but I really hope it does, and that's really exciting.
Yeah. I think this is a great place to just jump right into the conversation with one of the biggest, weirdest things. I think we do need to step back just in case we've got some new listeners maybe who aren't familiar with IAPA, the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. This is the gigantic mega expo that happens at the Orange County Convention Center down in Florida in Orlando. Drew, can you just kind of, before we really get into the specifics, and I do want to talk about this Mango's roller coaster and who's behind it, but just give us the big view of what this is for someone who's actually going and what it looks like, and then we'll start getting into things.
Perfect. So like you said, it's the big mega trade show. It is for anything that is remotely related to the amusement industry. So you have vendors that are selling roller coasters, rides, to the vendor that sells name tags and vacuums, to arcade games, penny presses, inflatables, the fog machines from the at haunt props, Christmas props, to companies that are selling like turnkey family entertainment centers, where if like you want to own your own and you like leased space inside of this former CVS, they've got a concept that they can plop and drop inside of that for you to open up your own turnkey FEC.
Okay, so yeah, and it's overwhelming and massive. Mike, do you want to kind of recall our visit and what it was like, first impression when
Oh yeah,
when we
yeah.
attended?
I mean, because IAPA, if you are a fan of theme parks or even just amusement industry in general, IAPA is something that you just know about. And when you get there the first time and you just walk in, it's just sensory overload because you walk in and there's like a roller coaster on the trade show floor that you can go and ride, and then you can go around the corner and somebody's making mini donuts, that a park could buy and have like a mini donut machine. And then you walk around the corner, there's animatronics and somebody trying an AI robot that can talk to you, and then you go crazy because then you get to this whole section where it's nothing but redemption games all just
Right,
turned on ready for you to play, and you can just
and
play
you
them
can play
over and
them.
over.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, just from a fan perspective, but if you were somebody who runs a family entertainment center or a park, there's just whatever you need for your business or your park is there at IAPA. It's crazy.
And then there's things you probably never thought you needed that are also for sale at IAPA.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta say, one thing I love the In the Loop YouTube channel. There's always so many great things because you guys travel. You and the legend, everybody travels, and they're like immediately, like you guys were on the show floor and had a video ready to go, like a 15-minute video where you went to, was it 42 different booths in
Yeah,
that
something like
15
that.
minutes? Yeah, amazing. And you just really get a sense of what that show is all about through your guys' video. So everybody, you should go and check that out. It's really amazing, and I enjoyed it today. I spent my lunch break just watching that video and kind of getting a sense of what was going on.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We've been doing this forever. This was my 13th time going to IAPA.
Hmm.
And Legend's been going longer than me. Clint's been going longer than me. And for a while, we were doing each booth got its own video, and it was like a 5 to 15 minute interview. And that was exhausting getting all of those edited up and everything. And then
Hmm.
we realized a couple years ago that the better aspect is put the one video together where we just do like the mega IAPA video where we show all the things that we think are cool on the floor in one video, and then that was doing better for us. So that's why our content has changed over the years.
Yep.
We get asked that almost every year, so that's where I'm disclaimering here. But if you go back on our YouTube channel, you can see playlists from like 2010 IAPA, 2011
Hmm. Hmm.
IAPA, all the way up. And it's like, and so you'll see like things that we're like, oh, this is really cool. And then it just never came to, or you end up seeing like, oh, this concept's really cool. And then it ends up being there. Like we were there when ZDTs announced their Switchback
Yeah.
coaster. And
Hmm.
Yep.
so like earlier this year when we went back to, I went to ZDT's closing day, like talked to the family and I was like, I don't know if you remember me. And they're like, you're in from In the Loop. Like you did our first interview
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was like
Great.
crazy how like In the Loop is so well known in IAPA. And like my roommate, she's like really professional in this industry and like really important in the industry and has a ton of important connects. And she tried to introduce me to someone and he's like, oh, I know who Drew the intern is.
There you
Yes.
go.
Amazing,
And
right?
so it was
That's
like
so great. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
this is so much fun because if you're a fan of Coaster Radio and you don't know In the Loop, then I don't know what your problem is. Go
Yeah.
back and find
Exactly.
In the Loop and listen to these guys. They've been doing this for a really long time. Drew, I think our favorite example of this is way back. Coaster Radio has been doing this, little bit longer than In the Loop, we like to say. 20 years. Minecart Madness, the Donkey Kong cantilevered roller coaster. I think that's the ride that we had the concept and the rumor of the furthest away from it actually coming into fruition. And I remember talking about it on Coaster Radio. And that's one I'm so thrilled about. Has nothing to do with IAPA, but has to do with exactly what you're saying. The longevity of Coaster Radio and In the Loop is just something really special and really fun. So yeah, this is great that we're coming back together again here at Coaster Radio's 20th season.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is cool. So you were already teasing. We're going to talk about the two ride announcements. There's a lot of rides that we know are coming next year that had like
Hmm.
ride vehicles being shown off and more art and more details being shown off at IAPA. But two actual rides were announced. The first that you were talking about there is deranged millionaire Joshua Wallach's
Yes.
skyscraper roller coaster. I guess didn't happen, but now he's gonna build this SNS roller coaster on iDrive.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Allegedly.
this. Allegedly,
Well,
exactly.
it's a bright green lit up SNS launch coaster that's gonna be squeezed into the front parking lot of Mango's.
Wow.
And if you look at like Google Earth, I'm not quite sure where it's gonna fit, but I'm super excited for this because new attractions come into like my hometown of Orlando is always cool. I wanted the polar coaster to come. I never thought it was no, that's a lie. I definitely thought it was going to, but then I was young and inexperienced and didn't really understand like how the world works.
Now you know.
Now I know, and now I never think this is going to happen. But to be
Yeah.
fair, Josh's first plan was Mangoes, second plan was the garage, and third plan was a roller coaster. And the Mangoes in the garage have been here for a little bit, so it is, I guess, time for our S&S launch coaster, which looks like a bigger, taller, faster Gale Force over at Playland Park in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. And did it look in the concept art like there was a tower too, like a launch tower, right? Like is that from S&S
so
maybe? Yeah.
word on the street is that's Marineland's drop tower coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Which I don't know for sure, but it seems like the same style, like 3-tower concept, and Marineland's drop tower's got to go somewhere, and so that's the rumor that it's Marineland's, and I mean that's pretty cool.
Relocated. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this looks like a lot of fun. What about the I think the announcement that we all were anticipating? RMC said a rail coaster was going somewhere, and everybody was speculating about where it would go. Were you there for the announcement of where this RMC Raptor was going?
So we tend to not go to press conferences anymore
Okay.
because I don't know if you've ever seen videos of the press conferences, but it's like 100+ enthusiasts all filming like the same shot with their iPhones or their cameras up on sticks. And we've discovered that if you roll up like 20 minutes later after the press conference, you can get better footage for like our big YouTube footage. And the only thing we're missing is the sheet being pulled off of the ride vehicle.
Yes.
But like the ride vehicle's then on display for the rest of IAPA. So we did not go to the RMC press conference for that. But I mean, obviously we learned that Family Kingdom's getting themselves a family single rail.
Yeah, this is Myrtle Beach's only. Do they call it Myrtle Beach's only seaside park, Family Kingdom? And it looks like they're taking out a couple of flat rides and maybe a small go-kart track to squeeze this thing in.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Myrtle Beach is a great tourism town, and that park hasn't really expanded in ever, I think, as far as like I've been aware of it. It's like its newest ride was like it might have gotten some flat rides, but its newest coaster was a relocated Wild Mouse that was built there like 10+ years ago. So this is a really cool addition for them. Swamp Fox is an awesome coaster that's already there, so it gives it a nice like 1-2 punch, and I guess gives people the reason to go back to Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the things that you mentioned that we loved when we were there that one year for IAPA was going around to the different booths and seeing the ride vehicles from each of the ride manufacturers. And usually they bring a ride vehicle that's going to be featured in a new attraction for the upcoming year. And so already, like, there were a ton that were in the video that you guys produced, and we're seeing just a ton on social media. Let's talk about some of those and some of the ride vehicles you saw, and maybe some that surprised you or looked really interesting.
Yeah. So the new Dollywood is it Night Flight?
Night Flight Expedition.
Yeah, Night Expedition. That ride vehicle looks, one, massive, two, super expensive, and when I was looking at the concept art, I was like, why are the seats so far apart? This doesn't make sense. And then when we saw the vehicle live, and I was like, oh, that's where their onboard audio is. That makes a ton of sense now why they have their seats far apart. But that looks super cool. And that boat's massive and looks awesome. And Mac does a great job of making awesome looking ride vehicles from like Time Traveler and Stardust Racers in Orlando here. So that's another home run ride vehicle they've got there. And then
no, I was going to say this is a big 10-seater boat roller coaster hybrid thing, and I was just going to say, and Drew, you tell me, I was really thrilled to see the ride vehicles as we get into this section of IAPA, being able to see them up where you can really look at them from all angles and even kind of lean down and see the bottom of them. When you're in the park, you don't get to see the sides or bottom of a roller coaster train. But IAPA, sometimes they even have them elevated up so you're really underneath and everything, and you can get really dorking out about the mechanics of them and things like that. So was that something that were experiencing being able to get up and around all of these vehicles in a way that you never could in the park?
Oh, 100%. Also, in my like real life job, I'm a safety manager. So
Yeah.
I'm here looking at like bolts and like touch points of like
Yeah.
guests getting into these things just
Oh,
because
that's
you
not
never
where I
know.
would have put the handle.
Yeah, or not necessarily like that. I'm like, oh, that's
Okay.
interesting. Or
Yeah.
okay, so that's where that mounts and stuff. So I'm always working even when I'm not working. Like,
Nice.
I'll go to a park and I'll be like, ooh, I really like that idea, and so I'm like noting things down all the time. And so yeah, we're definitely looking at restraints, looking at okay, that like this boat, for example, it's got like a little knob in the center and then also a little knob on the end. And I'm like, okay, well, that's how they're going to keep like the height requirement really low because you're going to work on containment so little kids can't climb out of this thing. And it's just stuff like that is what I'm looking at on the floor. It's just like when 2 years ago when Zamperla had their Top Thrill 2 train, and I was like, ooh, I feel like my foot could get into this wheel sitting
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And it ended up not being there, but like it was just like things like that are always what I'm looking for, and when I'm sitting on trains and stuff like that.
Yeah. And looking at pictures of this ride vehicle, it looks a little different than Mission Bermudas because on the side, I don't know if anybody was talking about this, Drew, there's like a metal piece that's on the side, each side of the boat. And I don't know what that's for or what that's going to be. And I don't know if that has to do with maybe the part of the ride that's going to be a little bit of a motion simulator. Is it something that stabilizes the ride when it comes in the station? But a lot of people talking about that, wondering what that might be for.
Yeah, we definitely saw it. I don't think
Mhm.
anyone has an answer to that, but
Yeah.
I think your guesses are pretty good. It's either that or somehow that's how it's going to power something. But I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it super cool looking boat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can
Yeah.
get such a different look at them when they're out on the floor. Another one, I think, let's go down and talk about Tormenta. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the Giga Dive Coaster. I think this is the meanest and most intimidating ride vehicle that was on the floor of IAPA. Can you tell us what this is and what park it's going to and what it looks like?
Yeah, so Six Flags Over Texas pulled the curtain off and showed us Tormenta, their Giga Dive Coaster, and they had the front row with the train, all 7 or 8 of its seats there
Uh-huh.
right on the floor. And so that dive coaster trains are already like massive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure, like, if you go back in history, like, this is what started the ride vehicles, was when they debuted Sheikah's train at IAPA for Sheikah's first year.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how this all started. And so when B&M has their big like vehicle up in front there, it just always looks awesome. Because also like B&M's got a nice booth that's like right in the front, right on the main aisleway. So it's always like the first thing you see when you come in is just this massive, massive dive coaster train. That, yeah, like you said, it's an intimidating piece there up on the floor.
Awesome.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
And like you said, EB, it was awesome. What was the train that was there when we were there? It was the stand-up roller coaster that went to
They had the
SeaWorld.
Surf Rider. Yeah.
Yes, the Surf Rider, and they had it at an angle, and it was
And
just
up
so cool.
elevated, yeah.
Yes, yeah, so neat to see that. So the same here with Tormenta. So cool. Yeah, let's see. What are some other ones? Oh, you know what was interesting? I liked, speaking of SeaWorld Orlando, the SeaQuest Legends of the Deep vehicle that was there.
Oh,
That's
this
going
is
to
a
be
dark ride.
suspended dark ride. That looked like a massive car as well.
Yeah, that looks like a very expensive ride system.
Yeah.
Which makes me really nervous that the theming is just going to be like budget cut here.
Yeah.
Because man, that is so cool looking. It's 180-degree rotating, so they had that thing rotating around and showing everybody how it can go into the different positions. And I mean, that's huge. It can fit at least two, probably up to 4, like a whole family in one car. So you're
Yeah.
looking pretty solid throughput on that. Really cool, really sharp looking ride vehicle there. And it,
Yeah,
and
and
it definitely has that like submarine-y type vibe
Yes,
for
yeah.
a SeaWorld dark ride.
Yeah, anybody listening right now really needs to go and find the images of this. It's essentially shaped like a letter G, and it's a suspended dark ride. That's what's going to be so cool about this thing, is that you are in this submarine themed ride hanging over scenery. We'll see how effective the actual ride experience is, but the ride vehicle is really selling it for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
looks great.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Also, speaking of like huge ride vehicles, what about Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift? Like that.
They're cars. I mean, there's no denying
Yeah.
it's a car.
It's It's like a giant car. I mean, there's EB. There's no
It's a
better way to
car.
say it. That's
Well,
what
I
it is.
remember seeing these, but Drew, I remember seeing these at Universal Studios Hollywood, and they were still wrapped up so that you couldn't see the detail of them, but they had them out. They were wrapped in like that black and white QR code looking stuff that they put concept cars in, but they had it out where people could see it. And I was like, that's a car. This is exactly what this ride vehicle needs to be. But now seeing it with, of course, that wrapping off of it with the headlights turned on, Drew, did this look and feel like a real car? Because it sure looks like one.
It's massive. It feels like the size of like a Honda Civic, which is it's awesome, right? Like the big giant front section, and then you've got the spots where the seats are, and it's cool because like most of the time, like you're besides like your aero loopers that have like that front nose cone, most rides like you just have like that small front, and then your like feet are like right there, right at the front of the train. And so for this to have that like big massive section of like space in front of it is just super cool and not something you typically see on rides. And with the cool like metal engine in front of it with like Toretto's car, like there's just it's so cool. And we were talking to people at Intamin for this one, so that's not like the final image of the car. It is going to be look even like fancier when it actually makes to the ride.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the metal is going to be different on like the side pieces and the engine itself. Because I'll admit, when I got up close, like the engine definitely didn't look like an engine. It just kind of looked like fiberglass that was painted silver. And I guess it's turning into like full on like a metal, like resin, like fancy engine piece too.
Yeah. We have a question here in the chat room. Drew, maybe you can answer this. What is bigger, the Fast and the Furious cars or the Donkey Kong carts? Which one,
definitely the Fast and the Furious cars.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And another ride system that we saw on the show floor was the new Rail Rider from SNS. Did you get a chance to check that out too?
Yeah, they had two different models of this. They had their like standard one that's on their ride model that they're testing at their facility, and then they had this kind of minecart themed one that I guess sort of like brings you back to the soapbox derby racer at Knott's Berry Farm back in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Super cool. Also kind of weird. Just
You don't have to be nice. You're not there. It's okay. You can
so,
say
like-
this thing looks like a janky garbage Nerf something. I don't know what this thing is.
My
Drew,
problem is every year SNS is like, this is our new concept. They never sell one ever. Or they are like, here's our access coaster we sold to Saudi Arabia 2 years
Right.
ago, and it just doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know, man. Like
This thing,
I
it
love that
looks
they're
like
innovating.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a pool noodle Nerf gun pickleball
Yeah.
racket. I don't know what it is.
And like, I know we're all parents here. EB, your kids are a little older, but like, my kid's 7, and the last thing he wants to do is not sit next to me on like a thrilling roller coaster. Like, he doesn't want to sit in a vehicle by himself. So I feel like nobody at SNS is parents and like bothered to like think about this. Like,
No, that's totally true. That's good.
yeah, it's why it like,
point,
here, buddy, this is your seat. All right, now I'm behind you, and he's like,
Goodbye.
Well, where's
Yeah, wait.
Dad? I can't see him.
Where are you going? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So like, to me, I think this is a terrible idea for a family coaster. But like, at the same time, like I like the innovation. I like that the industry is going places and we're trying new things. But like SNS, I think a couple years ago when they came up with their steeplechase concept that was on iApp, and they had like horse vehicles, that was super cool. And if like this is where we were going, was bringing back the old steeplechase where we had horses on these things, I think that would do really cool. But instead, with it like being like the single rail car, but like 1-in-1, like it just I don't get it. Especially because RMC down the hallway here now is showing that we're also going to do family single rail coasters. So I think SNS is in a tough market with this one, and I wish them the best of luck. I don't know who they're trying to sell to though.
Yeah.
I think if they were doing the soapbox derby or the horses, it might be a bit more friendlier for the kids. But yeah, this thing, it's a perfect combination of bad design and really weird looking.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It looks so non-traditional. It's detrimental, right? I love innovation. I love something different, but this is too much. I don't like it.
Well, let's turn our attention to, I think, the thing that like impresses people the most when they show up on the show floor, and that's that they actually have rides that people can go on. I mean, they're not just like models or something; they're the actual working rides. So, Drew, take us through like what was kind of impressing people on the show floor. Maybe we start with the Zamperla one because that seemed like be like a big giant swing ride that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
did you get to ride?
I did not ride the Zamperla ride. Typically, the only ride I usually check out on the floor is the SBF Visa coaster, just to get the +1 there. And other than that,
Nice.
I mean, most of my day is honestly like just going around, talking to people, shooting content. So like waiting in line for rides, kind of, even though it's like 1 or 2 cycles, like it just kind of kills the day if you keep doing that. So we just kind of watched it from the outside, and it's basically like I mean, I'm not gonna say giant because it's inside in the IAPA showroom floor, but it's like the size of like a normal Zamperla flat ride, and you go up by flapping your wings like a bird, and then to go down, you just pull your arms in, and then the vehicle comes down, and it moves like at the speed of like the old parachute drop at Six Flags
Yeah.
Great Adventure, and you like flap to go up, and then you let go to go down.
That's funny.
And I figured I would be super sweaty in my like dress clothes if I were to be like flapping my wings here to get up into the sky. But it looked really
so
cool,
funny.
and people seemed to having fun. And then also they have a wheelchair accessible car on that, so something like
Oh, nice.
Morgan's Wonderland or Give
Yes.
Kids the World could get a completely wheelchair bound guest into that ride and have a similar experience.
That's great.
And the question I have that I didn't ask is, so do they then also have to flap their wings, or does theirs just go up automatically? Because that would be super unfortunate if you had like a quadriplegic in there that was just riding on ground level, looking around and seeing everybody else up in the air.
It's wheelchair accessible, but you're still not allowed to fully participate. That'd be terrible.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
hoping there's some other way, like someone else
Yeah.
can control that, like the operator can just put it in like an auto mode where it goes up and down for them or something.
Absolutely. And yeah, there might be different ways because Zamperla was working for a long time at trying to figure out how to make their rides more interactive, like with the Z Plus stuff. So yeah, I'm sure they've maybe got a different way to do that, maybe even with voice or something else, or maybe somebody, because I saw they had a seat behind the wheelchair accessible area. So maybe that too, or maybe there's a button and any number of things. But yeah, such a cool concept though. And it was fun. It's another one of those rides that EB, you always say it's kind of more fun to watch than to ride because you're just seeing people flapping their arms to make it go up and down. So
Yeah,
pretty
and
I
cool.
mean,
I
sorry.
do think that Morgan's in Texas did announce that they were acquiring one of these. I think the name is actually Wings. Zamperla continues to do the let's take a ride name and put a Z on it. Wings is going to be going to Morgan's Wonderland Park in Texas. So I'm sure they're going to have that accessibility feature all figured out by the time it actually shows up at the park.
Yeah. Well, what were
cool.
some other ones? I saw there was a kind of a new take on a rotor that they had there that looked interesting.
Yeah,
Indiana
Indiana Beach
Beach.
bought it.
Oh yeah, bought it right off the floor, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. They might have bought it yesterday because first thing I do when I get into the floor is I run over to. I don't actually run. I'm fat. I'm not a runner, but I go over to the SBF Visa coaster to ride it first because all of the coaster enthusiasts are rushing to that first press conference where they're going to pull the sheet off of one of the trains, and so I try to hit that when the line is the shortest. And
Good idea.
the sign for the rotor, by the time the floor was open, already said this one was going to Indiana Beach.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like this transparent rotor that spins around, the floor drops. You can do the whole climbing up and over the walls like how people did in the old school rotor days. And it also has this really cool like camera and video system on it that was like a different company that had their own booth. I am blanking on their name and I'm sorry. It just didn't matter enough to me for me to memorize it.
No.
But it's this sweet like tracking video. So it like takes video of the whole thing in like quarters so like guests outside can see it.
Oh,
But
wow.
then
Yeah.
like it takes like the coolest pose you had during the ride and it takes a photo of that and then that's like the photo it sells of you, and it's
Oh, nice.
completely like automated, so you don't have like the camera flashing going on and off, and so that was super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, like AI sees what the coolest thing that you were able to do while you're on the ride. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I was excited to see this concept ride. Is it called Anti-Gravity? I think because it does have thinking about a Gravitron or a Revolution ride. It has the frosted plexiglass as sort of the container, so you can see the silhouettes of the
Yes.
people
Yeah.
inside the ride as it's going around. But that does concern me, Mike. That plexiglass, anything kind of like clear plexi, over the years becomes dingy and gross. And
Yes.
Indiana Beach, not really the park that has the reputation for cleaning things. I can imagine this being like, let's go ride the mold moss ride.
Yeah, and like sunlight stains plexi. And,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
brown and brittle and awesome. Now, I was thrilled though to see that this was a ride that, unlike a Revolution or something like that, where you have to just stay in your spot, and if you like lift your legs, the ride operator yells at you. It looked like this was designed intentionally for us to have fun, like the old rotor days,
Right.
where you can crawl around a little bit on the inside of the thing. I'm just curious to see when it's actually in operation at a park, if they're going to let you do that like the old days.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I think it's going to be park specific on that. I feel like Indiana Beach seems like the exact park that would 100% let you have fun on it. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
this is cool.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. And then they had a couple of different models that go along with it. It's the same like kind of like vortex looking thing, but then they had different theming pieces that could go over it. And one was like this barn shape, so that way like because the top is open, and so you're gonna want some sort of covering on this, or else on a rainy day you're just gonna fill your ride with.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what were some
I
other?
love that.
Were those the two main ones, or were there some other things that you could actually try out?
There was this crazy company out of Italy that I'd never heard of before that had this very sickening small looping flippy.
The like single seater thing. I saw this
Yeah.
on the video that
Oh,
you guys put
yes.
up on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It looks like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. You know, the Woodstock ride at Kings Island where you just sit inside the little tiny helicopter, but instead of it being on a track, it's just on a post and you rotate around it vertically.
Yes.
Like you just flip.
And it's controlled by the operator, so like it does like back and forth and momentum to go up and over it.
Wow.
And but they were like really flipping it when we were filming because obviously they wanted to show off like how crazy this thing could be. So that one was really cool. And then at the Soaring Eagles booth, they had this ride vehicle that was kind of like it's the old over the top ride where you like swing back and forth and try to get like the swing set over the top. But
yeah.
like you rock back and forth in your chair to give the ride momentum to get it up there. So like it really takes like a couple people in their seats rocking back and forth together to get the thing to actually go up and over the top.
Yeah.
Is it people powered or is there?
Yeah, it's people powered.
Oh my gosh,
Interesting.
bringing that back. I remember seeing those and like seeing how scary and dangerous they were. I'll have to watch your video again and see that one.
That one is not in our video.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Typically, although most people don't, we always like to get permission before we start filming your rides because that's just the old school IAPA rules. Now no one seems to care, but like we still ask, and the booth was busy, so we just never ended up getting over there. But it was at the SNS, or no, it was at the Soaring Eagles booth. And then also, which was cool, and they haven't done this in a while, is there was actually like an outdoor ride for the first time in years. And again, we didn't walk over there because it was just a normal sized pirate ship. But IAPA used to put like 4 or 5 rides in the parking lot that you could also go ride, and it was always like,
oh, and inflatables too. They used to put inflatables out.
yeah,
yeah.
So they had the inflatables out like usual, but then this year there was a pirate ship out there. Apparently, it was a very unexciting pirate ship. Like as the world has progressed, those rides have become less and less fun and more like restrictive on their restraints.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. You now have people climbing out of rides. You didn't have that 15 years ago.
Yes. Right.
So now your number one thing is safety. Like before, if like you got hurt at an amusement park and it was your fault, it was your fault. Now, if you get hurt in an amusement park and it's your fault, well, it's the ride's fault for not preventing me from being able to climb out of this vehicle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, this is so much fun going through all of these things, and we've got a lot more to talk about. So let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about one of my favorite things at the IAPA show floor. EB, I think it's one of yours too. I love seeing models of rides that haven't been built yet, or models of concepts and stuff. So we'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about all of the cool new redemption games that they are had at the show floor and could be coming to an arcade near you, plus a bunch of other stuff on the show floor. We're here with Drew from In the Loop, having a good time. We'll be back right after this. All right. Nice job, everybody. Does anybody need a break, or you want to keep going?
Good to go?
Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Let's do it. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the original Theme Park Podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. Not only am I here with EB, but also Drew from In the Loop. This is a lot of fun, Drew. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. I've had to censor myself a couple of times because I know that shows are a little different here. So I was really passionate and had to like hold in an F-bomb at one point. But I'm having a good time.
That's great. What do they say? You guys say at the top of every show, like adult language, occasional adult language will be used. That's
Yes.
right. That's right. You always. I love it. I love listening to In the Loop, and I like the fact that you guys do super long shows because it's great. You get like on my commute. Some days I've got a 30-minute commute. Sometimes it's less, so I can listen. But I know I've got a little more to go, and like it takes me a good week. Like a whole commuting week, I got In the Loop.
To listen to an episode of In the Loop. No, and we do a listener survey, and we do have people who comment in our survey who say you guys should do long shows like In the Loop. I love that. They just talk and talk and talk.
Great.
Yeah,
It's great.
We assume people either listen when they're in traffic or when they're like doing a big theme park road trip.
Yep. Right.
And like half the time it's because one of us is doing a big trip. So like Legend was driving back from he did like this bottom of America road trip, and he was coming back from New Mexico, and he had a drive from New Mexico to Orlando that he had to make in like 3 days. And so we were like, all right. And then so that like broke our record. It was like a 5.5 hour episode.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And we were like timing it up for his like middle of nowhere Texas drive.
That's awesome. That's so great. That's great.
Awesome. That's so much fun.
Yeah, so it's great to have you here, and I like that both of our shows have a long history and of talking to each other and doing things and stuff. So that's really fun. Let's talk a little bit more about the IAPA show floor. We teased it before we went to the break. I love seeing models on the show floor. Like they can't always bring a ride, but sometimes they'll bring a great model, maybe of an attraction that's been built, maybe of a ride system. Like I saw one of the booths had a model of the ride vehicle from Ministry of Magic, and that looked cool, you know. Tell us about some of the things you saw. Some of the things I saw in the Loop video that you guys posted too. Really
So
cool
one
stuff.
of our favorites was this Italian company, Fabbrari, and they had a really sweet flat ride that it just screams Canada's Wonderland is going to get this at some point. Just 'cause that's what that park gets, these massive flat rides. And it's like the Windseeker Tower, where it's like a big tower where the vehicle goes up in the air. But then the vehicles kind of are split in half, and like the left side is flipping upside down counterclockwise, and the right side is flipping up clockwise.
Weird.
And so they're doing this like inverting, like flipping thing, like probably like 50, 60 feet in the air. And it looked super cool in a model. And then I mean, I probably won't ride it. It'll probably make me dizzy, but that one looked super awesome. And then KMG, the flat ride folks that make every fair ride ever, that had the crazy like double pendulum ride, like it was like Max Air on top of Max Air. And so then they were like both doing their like Max Air rides while about also like flipping on top of each other.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That looks, I mean, it looks like something that somebody created in like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something, like something that couldn't be, but these companies are saying like, yes, we will build it for you and bring it to your park. It's kind of wild.
And then Mauer's got a ton of models at their booth, and the one I liked, I don't even think we put this in the video, but I was just really having fun playing with it. They had like a roller coaster car of theirs, but it was like the size of like my dining room table. So it was like not like a full size model. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a small thing, but it was like big enough that I could like pick up the restraints and stuff and look at it. And like
Yeah.
if I had like teddy bears, they could sit in this
Oh my
thing. And I
God.
was like, it was like it was like a Labubu sized roller coaster car. And so
I love
like that was super cool. But they also had all their models. They've got some wacky looping coasters. And if you know that Mauer's selling their like spike coaster, which is like human powered, where like you pick the speed of how your ride is going.
Right.
Yes.
And and they were showing they've got one that's got a loop, and if you don't make it through the loop because you braked or you used not enough power to get through it, then it like was showing how it like rollbacks, and then it will like launch you through the loop, and then you'll continue on with your ride you've powered yourself.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I saw that one. That was kind of cool how it was the spike coaster again, where you can kind of, it's like motorbike style, and you can control your speed, but you could kind of determine if you wanted a rollback or not by not going through the loop, but then it would force you through it.
yeah,
Cool.
so that was the concept Maurer had on the floor, and not a model concept, but GCI is their like handout had a whole bunch of really cool concepts that they were showing off of like shuttle coasters and coasters with like vertical loops and stuff like that they were trying to push,
Yeah.
which is cool, but at the same time, like I don't know, man, like I just want a really good wooden coaster. Like
Right.
go back to selling Mystic Timbers, right? Like that ride's incredible, and we don't need things with like spiral lift hills and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I maybe I'm traditional. I've just been a fan for so long, but like I see all the parks that they're not building wood coasters, and you go to Kings Island, like Mystic Timbers is most people's favorite ride there, and
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard to market, but I versus a crazy wood coaster with like a steel loop. Like, I mean, I guess actually that would be pretty cool if Kings Island were to be like Son of Beast 2.
Yeah, bring
And
something
it's like a
back, yep.
GCI that has a steel loop. That might actually like, it might do well. But, you know, I don't know how many people need a wooden coaster with a steel vertical loop in it, but be sweet if we got one.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
And then the last concept that's like coming to mind right here is Zamperla was showing what they did with Top Thrill 2, and they're like, and this is relatively what we can do. And it was like a 500 footer that was very similar to Top Thrill with like it was like a model of Top Thrill, and then showing how much bigger their spike could be and their top hat could be for a 500-foot tall version of Top Thrill 2.
Yes.
I always wonder about that. Like when Cedar Point contracted them, did they say like, okay, you can do it, but you can't sell one that's higher for X amount of years? I always wonder about like if those type of things get put into the contract, because Cedar Point wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want somebody going higher right away. But
Yeah,
I wonder,
and it's a good question, and I would bet probably, just because I know Zamperla really wanted that contract.
yeah,
Because they were not the only company to like bid on it, and I think
Right.
they really wanted that, which is why you saw that the Cedar Fair parks the year before all get Zamperla flat rides.
yes,
I have no factual base on this, but I'm sure all of that was in the contract together. It was like, hey, if we get this, you guys get that.
right, sure. I bet I wouldn't be surprised.
So
yeah,
I would
yeah.
not be shocked if they were like, hey, we need a couple of years in America or whatever to do this. But I mean, as you saw, it kind of takes Zamperla a couple years to get their coaster right anyway. So as long as they start building a couple years early, they'll probably still get to their
There you go.
their timeline.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about like one of the biggest areas of the show floor is really one of the biggest areas in the amusement industry, and that's the redemption games. And I loved it the year that we went because there were so many cool concepts that you'd never seen before, or people taking an old concept and bringing it forward. One of my favorite things that you guys did in your YouTube video was just playing some of the games. I mean, and there were some surprising ones too, with like surprising IPs, like Back to the Future. I've
Yeah,
never seen a Back to the Future, redemption game, but they had that. Take us through some of the things you saw.
Yeah,
today that,
absolutely. So I think the coolest IP we saw on the floor was the Back to the Future game. And it was really funny because there was 3 of them in like a triangle, and
Yeah.
2 were on the show floor. And those had like massive lines, and people were like trying to play them. And then the one on the backside that was like in the booth, nobody was playing. So I ended up playing it a couple of times, and I kind of feel so. It was like this big Back to the Future clock, and it was like 2 circles. One was like a speedometer, and then the other side had the big famous like someone's gonna kill me on this, like the timekeeper. What is that? What did they call that thing in the movie?
The flux capacitor?
No, like where you
time
had like
circuit.
The time
time
circuit.
circuit.
Time circuits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the other side had the time circuit.
Yeah.
We need Chips, Dips, and Dorks back. So
Yes,
I would,
that's right. That's right.
Be
We can-
refreshed
we
on
can do it.
this.
Yes.
Wow, deep cut.
Old school. Old school.
Yeah. So and then you had like a steering wheel, and you had to spin the wheel 88 miles an hour to hit the bonus.
Oh,
And
interesting. Yeah.
and so like depending on how fast or how slow you went, you got like tickets, and like different sections of the speedometer was like this section was worth 5, this one was 20, this one was 10, this one was like 45, and then the bonus was if you hit 88 miles an hour, and that's when you get the big ticket bonus.
Yeah.
So it really felt like they were like, we want a Back to the Future game that features 88 miles an hour. How can we do it? And what's awesome is I played probably like 10 times, but if you go on our Facebook reels, I actually hit the 88 miles an hour in the one take we're filming for Facebook reels.
Oh.
And then there's this really cool like Back to the Future show scene that comes along with it, and like lightning strikes and all of this kind of stuff. So
cool.
it was super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool game. And then they also had, I don't know if you're familiar with one. It's like an arcade version of the High Striker, where you like take the mallet and you hit the barrel, and then the lights go up, and you try to stop it into the bonus.
Yes. Yep. Mhm.
Well, for this year they had very similar concept to this, but it's a drop tower, and so
Oh.
the ride vehicle goes up, and then you're trying to drop the ride vehicle into and stop it in the bonus section. And so like there's different like ticket values depending on where you stop the ride vehicle.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And so that one was super cool. And then another booth had this gas pump game, which really shows like you can turn anything into an arcade game. And it was
Yeah.
like you squeezed the gas handle, and you had to like pump like a perfect like $10 or whatever value it gave you. And depending on how
Perfect.
close you got to the $10 was how many tickets you got.
It's like OCD the game, where you have
Yeah.
to, I have to get exactly this much gas. I have to end on an even number.
I
Yeah.
play that game in real life though when I'm pumping gas,
Exactly,
trying to get it
right.
exact. Yeah. Mhm. I
But
love
like
it.
unless you don't hit it exact, and you're like, oh man, I stepped off, like I'm at like $9.97 instead of $10. You're like, well, I didn't win the bonus.
Yes.
Yep.
that's
And, then,
cool.
and then the guy next to you, he flicks his cigarette and you catch on fire. He
Yeah.
spilled over the gas tank and the whole
That's
thing.
right.
That's
That's
awesome.
right.
I wanted to ask you about the, I saw in your video that you guys posted on In the Loop, this water gun. And when I say water gun, it's not a gun that shoots water. It's a gun that's in the water, and it
Oh,
shoots
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a ring through the water. How does this even work? And what's the application for this thing?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, like 6 years ago, there was this company called Aquacar that debuted their underwater.
Oh, you put the helmet on, or you get in the ride vehicle and you actually go inside the water of the aquarium.
Yes. So this
Yes.
is the shooting apparatus for their
No.
video
No.
game version of the
No,
Aquacar.
we can't gamify going into the aquarium.
Oh, they
We're
did.
just like, hey, that tuna looks delicious. Boom, serve it up.
And it shoots like
did.
the perfect ring on it. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we just shoot the fish. No.
And the idea is that they would have targets in the aquarium, right? That you would shoot the water.
oh, I thought I was
rings.
going at lunchtime, and I
Yeah.
was
And like, there's the
yeah,
dolphin.
mahi mahi, great.
Yeah.
yum.
But you're right.
No.
It's this perfect ring of water that like.
Yeah, it's
shoots-
like an air cannon that shoots
Yeah.
it out.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. It just
And
shows
then
you.
the guy was showing us a video of what it sounds like above water, because of like the huge like air pressure. It sounds like an actual gun is going off.
Oh wow.
But then in the tank, it's just like bloop.
yeah. That's so
This
great.
is another one I feel like has been around at IAPA and people have been talking about for a long time, but has not had a practical real world application that any of us have actual access to.
right.
Well, it's another one of those that is announced for Saudi Arabia. We'll see if
Yep.
it actually happens.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I saw a couple other games too that you were playing that were fun. Like one was the traditional Papa Shot basketball game.
Yeah.
But in this case, the backboard is on like a robotic arm and it's moving back and forth and side to side. So like,
Yeah, no, that was super cool. It was like, and it had like a bigger hoop and then a smaller hoop. And so like, and it would just like, every time you made a shot, it switched the basket either like a different size, different location. And so there was the shot clock on there, and you got points based on like how quickly you got it into each shot.
yeah,
So it was like 15, 14, 13, 12, and then at 0, then it would move on to the next one anyway. But as soon as you made your shot, then it would go to the next thing, and that's how many points you got into the game.
yeah.
And I mean, it's like the size of the big giant basketball games you see at Dave and Buster's that are like the like foul shot thing. Only this one, the hoops are on arms and like moving around. It looks
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah. Really cool
Yeah.
stuff. Well, tell us about just overall in any category, just other things that you saw on the show floor that kind of piqued your interest or things you thought, hey, this could really work in a park.
Yeah, weird
Okay,
prizes
so-
and food, I think especially. That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah. First thing I got to talk about is because I'm the safety manager at work, and the Bristles vacuum company had this really cool concept that I really pitched to my GM, and he said no. But it is one of those wet floor sign cones, but on the bottom of it is a fan that sucks up your spill.
Oh,
So it's on like wheels, and you just move that wet floor sign over the spill, and it sucks up the whole spill after, or like dries the floor. So like someone spills their beverage or whatever, you've mopped it, the floor's now wet, and now you can just do this over that quick spot right there, and then it's already dry here in like 30 seconds, rather than like leaving the wet floor sign out and then just waiting for it to no longer be wet.
Oh,
yeah.
like a Roomba or a shark vacuum, but it is not only the wet floor caution sign, it's actively working to.
Yes, well, we're not there yet. It's still human powered. You have to be the one that moves it over over it. But it honestly, like, it's still cool. Like, slips, trips, and falls are like absolutely the number one incident
awesome.
in the theme park industry. And so I loved this, and immediately was like, hey, this, I really want
we
it.
need it.
And
yeah.
yeah.
I love that idea. We're going to see that in the parks. That will be something that
Yeah,
people will pick
McDonald's already has it in all of their stores. So if you spill a soda in McDonald's, you'll get to see this in action.
I might go spill one at McDonald's just to see it in action. Yeah,
Right.
I might do it on purpose.
So that was really cool. And then the food thing was really interesting. They had this one booth that had soft serve ice cream in a pouch. So it was like the baby food applesauce pouch, but it was soft serve ice cream in there. And yeah, EB, like, your face kind of like describes the actual experience there. There was a lot more like sucking than I really wanted to do on that. Like, it was it was a lot of squeezing and sucking to get this ice cream out of there.
Yeah.
But it was a cool concept, and I'm sure we'll see that somewhere. Someone's gonna do that.
I don't like that at all. So fun, though.
Yeah,
So
that sounds
fun,
like
the weird stuff that you can see and you can find at IAPA.
I love it. I even saw that they had like full structures that you could buy, like a like a bar that you could just pick up and drop into your park.
Oh, and the theming and
Yeah, so that was really interesting. So they're actually a theming company that that did work for Epic Universe. I was talking to the guy about it, but they were like, just to show off their theming, they built an Irish pub that they were trying to sell on the IAPA floor while also trying to show off their like theming skills. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I don't know who's going to buy this Irish pub, but I love it. It's like the size of a backyard shed, which would be way more fun than a backyard shed. Like, trust me, like, I would much rather have an Irish bar back there than like a place to store my lawnmower and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
So that was super cool. We did not get to go inside there because they were having a super secret meeting where they were signing a contract for some other park.
Oh.
So like, that's really cool. But I don't know what they're going to do, because a lot of times your creative companies that work on projects never can really admit that they did something. Like, there was the model for like the Harry Potter Ministry ride, but it never said that. It was just like elevator concept.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, huh, I wonder where I've seen that before. And I mean, Dynamic Attractions did the same thing with because they worked on Forbidden Journey, and they had like the bench, but it was like they were only talking about their Batman ride in the UAE, because they typically, your big parks don't let you talk about all of your rides, which is why I'm kind of surprised Universal was like, yeah, go ahead, show off the Fast and the Furious coaster car.
Yeah, right,
Because
right.
because we never really got anything else, right? We never got like Velocicoaster trains. We never got any Epic Universe trains before that park opened. So that's what I was asking them. I was like, is this like a nondescript Universal car, or like they're like, oh no, they signed off on this, because normally you've got a big sign that says like what it is, and this did not have that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lots of cool stuff. And then the other thing that was awesome, this might have been my other favorite thing, was when they had this fancy robot with a microphone that was
I saw
programmed
this
with
in your video.
ChatGPT 5.
Oh no!
And man, he in our video we were talking about, because I didn't know what to ask him. I asked him what his favorite color was, and then we were slowly talking about like what his favorite roller coaster is, and he's like, "It's Millennium Force. It's one of the tallest, fastest roller coasters at Cedar Point. Plus, it's blue, and I like the color blue." And then I was like, "Well, what's your favorite theme park?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Islands of Adventure. I think they have a lot of great rides." And then named some of the rides they had there. And then I was like, "Can you make your voice different?" And then he changed his voice to like a different robot voice.
Oh, weird.
And so it was super weird. A little delay. And then the guy who was running this booth was telling us that like a guy who works for like a weed distribution company came up and was like asking the robot like weed questions. And he's like, this guy knows more about my product than my employees do. He the robot was like aware of his company, aware of like what he sold and stuff. And he was like, I did not know ChatGPT knew this much about my company.
Crazy.
And he's like, I want one of these for my weed store.
Look, Indiana really needs to get on board with this, because there's a lot of tax revenue that's available. And seriously, what's the problem?
And then you could get a robot that tells everyone about the weed.
Yeah. And I saw there was a robot that was doing portraits.
That was really cool too. Mm-hmm. That was another application of AI we had on the floor.
Artists started getting replaced by
AI. Yeah.
That was cool. I didn't actually think of that as like but we probably are going to lose characters to this. Mm-hmm. It took probably just as long as it takes to get a character. Like there was probably like a 10-minute process for the robot to draw a photo that only kind of sort of looked like me.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess that's your characters too. Yeah. I did see some people that were successful that had ones that I was like, yep, no, that's you. But you took like Legends and mine, and they didn't quite look like us. I looked like a white guy. And I guess to be fair, that is me. But I don't. I feel like if EB and I were to get ones next to each other, our beards would look probably identical with our beards.
No distinguishing features. I'll just draw a generic white guy.
Yeah, it looked very general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. So it didn't have like personality. It was just sort of,
Yeah. I was in a plaid shirt, and so it was going ham on doing all the plaid marks on it.
Yeah,
which I thought was also really funny, because like everyone else just
spend a lot of time on your clothes. I'm sorry, I can't worry about your face.
That's what it's doing. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I remember like when we went, there was like virtual reality stuff everywhere. Is that kind of going away? Are people doing less and less?
Yeah. A lot of virtual reality is going away. There were several booths that had a very similar, it was like a 10 by 10 attraction where it was like tracking motion with cameras, and you were playing like an AR game where like you're running away from things on the screen or interacting with the screen in like this 10 by 10 booth room. And there was probably like 7 to 10 of these on the floor of just different games where it was all like gridded out. But it seems like that has sort of replaced the VR. And I mean, I can tell you like VR kind of sucks in attractions, right? Guests are monsters. Like they're going to take your VR helmet off and then just take it and accidentally drop it. And then you're now trying to repair that. Like, the arcade game from like 8 years ago, Beat Saber, that came out, like the amount of it's super cool game, but the amount of people are like, and just like smash the VR headset. You're just you're killing your costs. And so like at the end of the day, the industry doesn't really want VR anymore because the headsets are really expensive and like the games are cool. But how many games does someone need to play to replace that broken headset?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think we're going more. The VR is slowly dying. AI was definitely on the rise, but I also kind of thought we would see more. I definitely thought we were going to see a lot more AI on the floor this year, and I think there was only like 6 or 7 booths selling something. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, someone's definitely selling some sort of like AR phone service where your guests answer and it answers questions for you in like an AR robot instead of having to have a phone operator and like just all kinds of things that just not that I'm saying I want this to happen. I just thought that's what was going to happen. IAP is normally really ahead of on trends, and I didn't really see it.
Yeah.
But
well, this has been fun, man. This has been
yeah.
great. This is we need to do this more often just to talk about general things. But thank you so much for joining us and giving us the rundown because I really feel like we got a good sense of what was going on. EB, don't you think? Like there on the show floor.
Yeah, there's so much that's down there, and so yeah, Drew, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's been a long week for you. I'm
Yes.
sure
Yeah.
you're ready to be done. Do you have one more day at IAPA? How much more of the show is left here? This is Thursday, the 20th here that we're recording the show.
I actually only went the first day, and we banged out 10 miles of walking.
Whoa.
On that
10
first
miles.
day on the show
Okay.
floor.
Yeah.
Legend has the Go Wild Pass. The backstory here. So he found a flight to California like midday Wednesday, and he's like, "Never mind, I'm just going to go to Disneyland instead."
I love it. Yeah.
Because he's got the unlimited Frontier Pass, so he just flies everywhere, and that's how we get content in all kinds of crazy cities and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So he decided we weren't gonna. He didn't want to go to IAPA on the Wednesday, and I was prepared to go Tuesday if we needed it, or Tuesday definitely, Wednesday if we needed it. But I mean, open to close 10 miles, we saw probably 97% of the floor.
Okay, great.
Nice.
There was one thing I didn't see that other people were talking about, but there was this Boston Dynamics dog, which those really creep me out.
Yeah. Oh, right.
But there was one that was covered in like a sheep, and it was like a fluffy sheep that was going up to people
I've
buying.
seen these in the parks. Epic Universe has one of these. It's a dragon.
Yeah, they have one of the like How to Train Your Dragon ones. Well, another booth, completely separate part of the floor, had a Triceratops, and that was adorable. So I'm a little sad I didn't get to see the adorable sheep, but I did get to see the adorable
So weird.
Yeah.
the Triceratops.
That's so cool. I love that. That's what's neat about going there to IAPA is just like there's innovation on every around every corner, on every pathway there. It's so cool. Like, yeah,
Yeah. And then what was crazy about IAPA this year? So the first year I ever went, it was 14 years ago. It was like Clint Legend and I, and we went to the Young Professionals Expo afterwards, and it was like a dinner for like young professionals in the industry. And then when I got my IAPA badge this year, and I was looking at the events, it specifically was like, you have aged out of this event, the Young Professionals.
Oh,
So now I've been going for so long that I am no longer a young professional in this industry.
Gosh.
Well
and
done.
that was like the first time in my life I've felt old. IAPA was like, you're
Good
too
job.
old to attend this event. That's for people. And yeah, that's my only negative from the event this year. Was
right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, IAPA. Thanks for making me feel
So you're
old.
no
Yeah.
longer on the children's menu. Well done, Drew.
Oh, yes.
This
yes.
is great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Drew. This is so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Perfect. That was
There you
great.
go.
Thanks, man. This was fantastic. That was such a good
awesome.
overview of everything. So that's gonna really be good.
Yeah, no, it's a super cool event. So thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, we
Anytime.
need to, like we said, we need to do more often. That'd be fun. I mean, we should do this. So yeah, especially you've got the setup. It's real easy to do. So we should do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just
Yeah, right.
Although I'm looking at like EB Studio with like the
I know,
the, like,
right?
tiled backgrounds and everything.
Don't be impressed. It's actually just my closet.
Yeah, my old house, I had my whole like podcast room, but I don't have one currently. It's not set up or anything. So now I'm just sort of podcasting at the dining room table. But like I miss my full on like podcast studio with like the noise canceling room and everything.
Oh, I know.
The
Yeah.
mood lighting. It was like super badass.
Yeah, mine is just basically just the basement, where I work, and it's I'm in my edit suite right now, but it's also, a room where so much goes on. So Yeah, I'd love EB's got the best one with the soundproofing and stuff.
It
Hardly.
just
So
the
good.
background's perfect.
I know, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
No, it's
And-
literally just like a 6x6 closet.
but
like,
the colors look good, and
but
you
it
have it
works.
like alternating. That's what I
works.
like. Yeah,
It works.
And I'm sure the audio sounds great.
it is.
Yeah.
EB, your audio is always good. There's never the echo at all. It's really good.
It's gotten a lot better. It's gotten
Yep.
a lot better. Yeah.
So good.
Drew, thank you so much, man. This is so much fun.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your show. And
Yeah.
bye, live audience.
Yep.
I hope you guys had fun.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. I'll send you a link to this when it's all edited too.
Awesome. We'll do. It'll probably be my drive to or from work at some point podcast.
Oh, sweet. All right,
Cool.
great. All right, good chatting with you. We'll talk
See
soon.
ya.
Okay, that was great.
Do I just hang up?
Oh yes, yep. If you actually
sorry.
hang on. Oh wait,
Um,
that's a good point.
When you like hang up, wait because it has to like upload.
Oh yes, you know
So
what?
just make sure you see the notification.
I just remembered we're gonna have to stop. So for the live audience, we're gonna say goodbye, and then EBU and I can finish the rest because we do have to stop recording for it to upload the rest. So
And then come back.
yes, so we're gonna say goodbye to the live audience. See you guys
It's a
later.
good thing I asked.
Yes, that's it. Fantastic.